America has always been a beacon of liberal values, free speech, an open press, the protection of minorities. Today, a wave of hate is sweeping across our country, threatening those freedoms.
Go back to the office! You need a big office! That's what you need!
Radical organizations are leading a propaganda campaign to demonize the Jewish people and destroy the only free country in the Middle East. These groups are known as the Boycott, Divestment, and Sanctions Movement, or BDS. Israel does not exist in BDS-inspired maps of the Middle East. It is replaced by a single Palestinian state extending from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea.
Most definitely we oppose a Jewish state in any part of Palestine.
A propaganda campaign of lies, hatred, and anti-Semitism sucks in more Americans every day. In recent years, the infiltration has reached our college campuses. More than 30 student governments have passed anti-Israel divestment resolutions. Dozens of boycotts by academic institutions. Artists boycott of Israel. Even some churches have voted to divest from Israel. Many ask, isn't this just an issue for the Jews? Why should Americans be concerned about a tiny country thousands of miles away? History shows that what begins with the Jews often doesn't end with the Jews. Boycotts and economic restrictions against Jews have been very common throughout history. Arab boycotts of Jewish interests started as early as 1922, 26 years before the establishment of Israel. Stricter boycotts followed in 1933, 1934, and 1936. When the Arab League was founded in 1945, they instituted an official boycott of Jewish businesses. And after Israel was created, Jewish communities in Arab lands were systematically persecuted. Their businesses were boycotted. Their property was confiscated. Jews were kicked out of schools and professions. Within just a few years, more than 700,000 Jews in Arab countries were expelled from their homes. Today, very few remain. Following the mass exodus of Jews of Arab lands, Christians, Baha'is, Yazidis, and other minorities have been next in line for persecution. Turmoil has erupted throughout the region. Hundreds of thousands have been killed. Ancient populations have been removed from their homes. Under the guise of radical Islam, intolerance has swept across the Middle East, oppressing women, gays, minorities, and anyone who dares to dissent. The Jewish people have come to learn that when they are targeted with economic sanctions, more dangerous times are on the horizon, and the consequences always extend beyond their community. The same groups targeting Israel today also hate America, Democrats and Republicans alike. They threaten the values and freedoms at the heart of our very way of life. Hatem Bazian, the founder of Students for Justice in Palestine, one of the largest BDS groups in the country, has already called for a violent uprising in the United States.
And it's about time that we have an intifada in this country that changes fundamentally the political dynamics in here.
Like many other BDS leaders, Bazian has been connected to a range of organizations affiliated with radical Islamist terrorist groups. It should be no surprise that the leading BDS activists are fundraisers and supporters for terrorists on social media and in the press.
The Holy Land Foundation, based in Richardson, Texas, the feds say at least $12 million raised by the group ended up in the hands of Hamas.
The top listed signatory on the BDS's founding document in July of 2005 is the Council for National and Islamic Forces in Palestine. This council includes representatives of terrorist organizations such as Fatah, Hamas, and Palestinian Islamic Jihad. The charter of these terrorist organizations calls for the genocide of Jews. Their leaders have praised Osama bin Laden as a holy warrior. The acceptance of these terrorist groups as legitimate voices in our public discourse sets a dangerous precedent. Those who justify suicide bombings in Tel Aviv or stabbings in Jerusalem also find reasons to endorse the brutal murder of American civilians in the World Trade Center. The stabbing of students at UC Merced innocent students in London, and bombing of commuters on trains in Spain and tourists on a Russian airliner in Egypt, and the slaughter of 130 people on the streets of Paris. The same radical Islamist groups that staged violent anti-Israel protests on the streets of Europe in the summer of 2014 have provided fertile ground for ISIS and others to recruit the terrorists that have committed recent waves of attacks in Brussels, Paris, London, and San Bernardino, California, which have claimed hundreds of lives. The moment is upon us. What begins with Jews never ends with the Jews. For the sake of Americans everywhere, for the sake of our shared democratic values and our common future, we must stop radicalism. We must stop BDS. Nothing less than our very way of life is at stake.